Welcome to another episode of Real Estate, Real Talk, Real Life, and Real Live with your host, myself, Damon, the agent, where I come to you each and every Friday at 12 noon, where I talk to you about the latest real estate trends and any topics that come to mind. So, first of all, I want to thank you all for joining me. As always, please make sure that you click the like and subscribe button on all of my platforms: YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, Threads, Snapchat, and TikTok. I thank you all for that. As always, let me begin my program and my show, as always, where I talk about real estate. So I'm going to talk about when should you sell and buy real estate. The reason I'm going to talk about this is because this question comes up quite often. People always say, oh, when is the best time to sell? When is the best time to buy? Now, typical, it's always a great time to buy and sell because situations happen, life happens, people, sometimes have to downsize because they may go through a separation, death, or divorce. People have to upsize because they have children, they need more space. So, you can never predict any of those things. Those things are inevitable and those things are called life. But when you're strategically planning on when should I buy, when should I sell? Okay, let me just give you some timelines real quick. First of all, we're in November right now, November the 1st, 2024. So typically the best time of the year to buy will be the winter time. The fall and winter will be from September through March. And the reason that this is the best time to buy is because, and many times, most buyers have less competition. They don't have as many people competing with them during the spring and summer months. During March through September is the best time to sell. Now, let me give you some insight on these things. The reason, like I said, September through March is the best time to buy because the days are shorter. So there's not much sunlight out after 4, 5 p.m. And many people who get off of work after 5 o'clock don't want to go look at houses in the dark. Plus, it's colder. Some people don't want to move during the winter. And there are houses that tend to sit on the market longer because of all of the holidays. I mean, even though Halloween just passed, you have Veterans Day, you have Thanksgiving, you have Christmas coming. Because of all of these upcoming holidays, a lot of times people tend to spend time with family. Most people are not always out shopping for houses to move. They're spending time with their loved ones. So because of during this time, you have less people out there looking for homes. Now, if you are a savvy buyer and you're trying to get the best deal, this is the perfect time to buy because when the spring and summertime come, you have so many people that you're actually competing with because everybody and their mothers is out looking because people are trying to prepare for the next school year. So a lot of times people want to actually be moved in before school begins. So they have certain districts, areas that they want to move to. So because of this, you have much more competition to buy during the spring and summer months. This is the reason why it's so competitive because the days are longer. People are out looking at homes after work and they can bring their family along to look. And because of this, it becomes multiple offers on all types of properties, especially if there's a specific school district that people want their kids in. So when it pertains to buying, you can still buy in the summer and springtime. It's still a good time to buy. It just may be more competitive to buy during that time period. Now, right now, during the fall and winter months, it is not as competitive unless there's a house that's underpriced or shows extremely well. That's when it still becomes competitive because you have people who are always on the various websites looking at homes all the time because they have leisure time to do so. So it becomes competitive during the fall and winter months when the house is priced right and under market value and it shows extremely well. Now, again, those are for the savvy buyers. When it pertains to selling a home, the best time to sell will be during the spring and summer months. As I just mentioned, because during this time period, it's so much competition for sellers. That means, hey, I'm going to have more than enough offers on my property. In some cases, the price goes up because competitive, supply and demand. When the demand is high and the supply is low, people tend to pay more money. So for sellers, the spring and summertime is the best time to sell, to maximize your equity in your home. Now, like always, like I mentioned with buying, selling, you can sell anytime because if your house is priced right and it shows well, it's going to sell. But there are some houses right now that are currently sitting on the market longer. The reason why that is because they're overpriced or they don't show as well. And it is what it is. And the reason why some houses are overpriced because people, they don't really pay attention to the time of the year. It's November 1st right now. They might remember when their neighbor house sold in April. But guess what? April was what? 7 months ago. But April was just here. You blink your eyes, time is flying. So because they say, oh, my neighbor sold their house quick. Now they got their house on the market and sitting. But your neighbor sold their house during the time when it was hot, when people were buying, when a lot of people were out looking. When you have more people looking, guess what? You're eventually going to get that one. All you need is one buyer when you're selling your home. So that is the reason why timing plays a huge role depending on where you're at buying or selling. Now, like I also mentioned, it is always a great time to buy and sell. But depending on when you buy and sell is going to determine how quickly you sell and also how you buy, whether you're going to pay a little bit more, a little bit less, get a good deal, or are you in competition with so many other buyers. And the time of the year plays a huge factor in this also. So again, I've sold houses in every month of the year for sellers and buyers. And I can just tell you based on my experience that the best time to buy for buyers is going to be between September and March. The best time to sell for sellers is going to be between March and September. Now, depending on where you are on that fence, you still can get a great deal as a buyer, even in the spring and summertime. And as a seller, you still can sell your house for a great price. It's all about strategies, it's all about conversations, it's all about certain other things that I will keep to myself and only apply to my specific clients. But it's always a great time to sell and buy. Now, I just gave you a lot of valuable, good information. I hope you apply it where you feel necessary. I'll be back with my Q&A. That's my questions and answers. If you all have any questions that you want to ask, please feel free to do so. I'll be right back. TikTok. Let me see. Hey, everybody. All right. Yeah, my Q&A, my questions and answers. Let me get to them right now. All right. Someone asked, what is buy down your interest rate? What is buy down your interest rate? That's the first question that we had. What is buy down your interest rate? That's a great question. I'm explaining it in a summary and also I'm going to explain it in a form of a little bit more definition. Now, the buy down the interest rate is basically the cost to buy down. The buy down the interest rate is basically the cost changes daily, just like the interest rate. And it depends on a buyer's credit score and their debt to income ratio and their loan to value. Now, when I say that, I basically mean that in many cases, when you buy down your interest rate, you're essentially paying an upfront cost called discount points or mortgage points to reduce your interest rate over the life of the loan. Each discount point equals 1% of the loan amount and can lower your interest rate, making your monthly mortgage payments more affordable and saving you money over time. This is commonly strategy used by home buyers who want to manage the long-term loan costs more effectively. So that is what buying down your interest rate basically is. Now, another question related to that is how much of the interest rate can you buy down? How much of the interest rate can you buy down? Now that varies, okay? And I'm going to always say that even though I'm answering these questions, always speak to a reputable lender, loan officer. They can always explain more in detail. But how much of the interest rate can you buy down? That's really going to depend on the amount of the interest rate of the and the lender's terms, the type of loan, and the current market condition. Just like with the regular interest rate, the current interest rate and the market condition plays a huge factor. And the same goes for this. Now, typically, you might be able to buy down the interest rate by 0.25% up to up to 1% per point paid, but this can vary. Lenders often limit how much you can buy down the rate, so it's essential to check with your local lender for specific lenders in details. It is very crucial to speak with the lenders because as real estate professionals, we help you sell and buy the home. But the lender is the one who deals with all those numbers. They're the ones who deals with the program. They're the ones who deal with everything when it pertains to the numbers. So it's essential to speak with them. And I kind of answered this, but they said, how much does it cost to buy down your interest rate? Like I mentioned, the interest rate buy down depends on the loan amount and the number of points you want to purchase. For example, if you're buying 1 point and your loan amount is 300,000, you will pay 3,000, which is 1% of the loan amount. The cost for each additional point can vary, and partial points are also an option. The key is to evaluate whether the upfront cost is worth the long-term savings and interest. And this is also something that can be discussed with a reputable lender because they can explain that more in detail. I can also, but that's not my job or my responsibility. I'm just answering the questions. So I will always like to direct you. If anyone needs a reputable lender, please feel free to inbox me, text me, DM me. My website is scrolling at the bottom. DamonTheAgent.com has all my information right there for you all to actually, reach out to me. And when you reach out to me, I can basically point you in the right direction because I want to make sure that you all are getting the best service as possible from the best people as possible. There are many people who hold a license, whether it's real estate, lender, or whatever. But just because you hold a license doesn't mean that you're actually good at whatever you're doing. I always like to use the examples with cab drivers. Even though Uber has taken over a lot, many of us know that there are many cab drivers out there. But sometimes we wonder how they even got their license. And guess what? They have two licenses. They have a driver's license and a license for a cab. So, and the same thing goes when it pertains to being professional in other arenas out here. There are many people who hold license, but that doesn't mean that the people who hold the license are actually expert or very good at what they do. So I like to point you all in the right direction. So I do work with essential trusted lender partners that can answer any and all of these questions. Because whenever you're purchasing a home or whenever you're dealing with numbers, you always want to deal with someone who's going to give you the detailed facts because everybody's situation is always personalized to you as an individual. Just like you have your own palm of your hand and your own DNA, your credit is specific towards you as well. It's based off you, your history, and what you've gone through. So I always like to point people in the right direction. So let me see if I have any more questions. All right. One more question I got right here. How do you think this election will affect housing? How do you think this election will affect housing? All right, that's a very good question. Let me answer that. First of all elections affect the housing industry one way or another. In some cases, right after the election, we went into a recession. And when you go into a recession, everybody's impacted by that. So, and then other times there were people who became president and then the economy tends to thrive. And when the economy tends to thrive, that means people have money to buy. And when they have money to buy, of course, the housing is affected by that. So when you ask me that question, how do I think the election would affect the housing? It would have an impact depending on who's in the office. No matter who's in the office, there's always going to be somebody disappointed and everyone's not going to be happy. But also depending on who's in office and depending on which way we go as far as the economy is going to determine how things go when it pertains to housing. Now, that's all I can say for now. Ask me that question in another week or two, and I'll be gladly to answer from depending on who's in the office. All right. I'm going to do the home of the week. All right. Let me share my screen. Let me share my screen. Let me share my screen because I am going to do the house of the week. Now, I mentioned this house before. Okay, nope, wrong one. No, wrong one. Yep, right one. Here we go. All right, let me play this house of the week. This one in DC, found in 1606 25th Street, Southeast. This house has numerous space. It is spread out. Actually has in the back an in-law suite as well, two-car garage. Also has a handyman shop, a rec center in here, and it has space for a swimming pool to be in the backyard. It has a basketball court in the back, bedroom, full bathroom, and also has another bedroom in the house. One in the house, and also have space in this house. Now, again, this is a great location in South. It's right near 295 off of Pennsylvania Avenue, right near Capitol Hill. It is a gem that's great for the next homeowner. Hopefully, it is you. And if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. House is also on my website, Damon.com. Southeast, you can see it there. All right, y'all. All right, all right, all right. That is the house of the week. All right, all right. I'm going to come back in a minute and talk about my topic of the week. Stay tuned. All right, all right, all right. All right, y'all. My topic of the week is mindset. Mindset. I want to talk about mindset. This is very crucial, you all. Now, what people don't understand is there's so many people have various mindsets of various things. And when I'm talking about mindset, I'm talking about everything. Depending on, like, if you're in a relationship, the mindset of your relationship is going to determine how your relationship go. If you work a job, the mindset that you have is going to determine whether you do well on your job, whether you're going to leave the job, or whether you're just at the job because it pays you. You know, the mindset determines everything. It determines your health in some cases. It determines the wealth of where you are. Mindset is crucial. And a lot of times when you speak to people, you can always tell the mindset. Just like you can tell if a person has a educated mindset, a uppity mindset, a ghetto mindset, a selfish mindset. I say this thing to say that people work on your mindset, because whether you want to be where you at in life right now or whether you want to be somewhere else, mindset determines is the foundation of how far you will go. You know, there's a saying that say, if I can conceive it and believe it, I can achieve it. That is your mindset, you know, and the law of attraction. It is your mindset. You know, if you all, another saying is, whether you can or you, whether you think you can or you think you can't, either way, you're correct. And that's because of the mindset. See, everything starts with your belief in who you are, your belief in where you are at, the, your belief at where you want to go, your belief at what you want to do. You know, there are people who believe that they're going to be successful, and there are people who believe that they're not going to be anything. You know, the mindset, the mind is a powerful thing. See, what people fail to realize is no matter where you at in life, no matter what's around you, everything you see, touch, and everything, someone created it. They had to have a belief and a thought. It was their mindset. They had to. Just like Thomas Edison with the light. He had to think about these things. You know, then it pertains to this computer and what we're looking through and what we're doing. Someone had to believe these things. You know, you can be content of where you are, or you can change your mind of where you want to go. But it all starts in your mind and your mindset. If you think you're stuck where you're at, guess what? You're correct. You're stuck. But if you believe you're going to be somewhere else, guess what? You're halfway there because your mindset dictates where you want to go. See, it's not always in the result that we do, it's the consistency in what we do. Because some people always they only see the end result, but they don't see all the work that's been put into things. But guess what? It's your mindset. See, if your mind gives up on anything, guess what? You're going to be stuck where you're at. I heard and read that Thomas Edison with the light bulb, he failed 2,072 times. 2,072 times. Many people ain't going to even go 72 times and try anything. But guess what? His mind refused to let him go. His mind kept him going. His drive, tenacity, and will, he refused to give up because he saw something in his mind and he believed it. And I say that to say that people work on your mindset. Many of us out here have the wrong mindset when it pertains to life. Some people have an entitlement mindset because they feel like people owe them things. When truth be told, no one owes you anything. You know, you're on this earth because the creator has you here for a reason. But while you're here, you owe you. You owe you. Just like the motivational speaker, Eric Thomas said, you owe you. Nobody else owes you but you. Your mother and father don't owe you. Your spouse don't owe you. Even though y'all have a agreement of vows to make a committed vows to each other. But guess what? Truth be told, they don't owe you because there are many spouses out here that actually leave their actual spouse. They even though they made a committed agreement with each other in front of God. And the reason why I say that is because you owe you. Whatever you desire, whatever you hope, whatever you want, you owe you. Nobody else owes you. But guess what? Your mindset determines that. There are many people right now who are in unhappy relationships and they're staying there because of that commitment. But yet at the same time, though, you ain't looking out for you. And the other person is very selfish because they don't care anything for you, even though they're there with you. See, some people are only in relationships because of security or financial reason or children, not because they're happy. And at the same time, even with happiness, nobody owes you happiness, not even your spouse. You owe yourself happiness. But it all starts with the right mindset. It's just like when you get up in the morning, sometimes you're not motivated to do anything. You just want to lay there. You understand? Because of how you feel, because of your mindset, because nothing has told you that it's really of that sense of importance or an urgency. But let the place be on fire when you get up. I bet you get up then. You know why? Because your mind has been alerted that you need to get out. It's an emergency. And the same thing goes for anything that you do in life. See, when you have the wrong mindset, you will fail at a lot of things. You will not achieve a lot of things because the mindset is wrong. That's why they always say that you are accumulation of the 5 people that you hang with. If you hang around with 4 people and they're all robbing and stealing and you don't steal, guess what? You're going to be accused of stealing because it's accessory. You're there with them. And guess what? You see everything that goes on, whether you're doing it or not. You know how to do it or what not to do. You might not choose to do it, but you're right there seeing it. But you are affiliated with that. If you're around 4 people who are striving for greatness and they're trying to build something, guess what? That's rubbing off on you too, indirectly and in your subconscious, because that's what people don't think about, your subconscious. See, you see things all the time, and that's why it's also said to protect your eye gate and your ear gate and the words that come out your mouth. It's for a reason. You know, when your eyes see things, even though you fail to realize it, it goes to your subconscious. And sometimes you'll think about things later on or even dream about things. Like, let's say, hypothetically, if you look at horror movies and you keep looking at horror movies and horror movies and horror movies, and then let's say you get out your car one time late at night and you're walking, you hear some noise, you're going to think about things from that horror movie because it's in your mind. And I say this to say that mindset, mindset. Work on your mindset. It is the foundation to where you want to be, where you want to go, and where you are right now. And if you look around you and you don't like what you see, change it. But you have to have a plan. And when you have that plan, you have to have a vision. And when you have that vision, it helps you to move forward. That's why vision boards are created a lot of times, because vision boards subconsciously help people to achieve the goals that they want to achieve in their mind. Your mindset has to be corrected, else everything else around you will not be where you want it to be. So I say that to say that work on your mindset, And as you're working on your mindset, the things that you want that's in your mind will come to a reality, because everything out here that you see in front of you, around you, on you, somebody had to think about it. So, what type of mindset do you have? Do you have the mindset to achieve all the goals that you want to achieve? Or do you have the mindset that you're just content to where you are and you're just living out your days, just waiting for your time to go off this earth? Or do you have a less than that mindset, just a bad mindset? No matter what that bad is, it can be poverty mindset, it can be a criminal mindset, it can be a selfish mindset. But whatever mindset that is, guess what? It's not going to help you in any way possible. While you're on this earth, your job is to live and thrive. It's not just to be alive. So I hope that you understand your mindset dictates where you want to be. Change your mindset and you will change your world. All right. I hope that you got the message that I was saying. Mindset. I'll be right back with my summary and close out. TikTok. Don't stop. All right, all right, all right. Again, before I give this summary, please follow me on all social media platforms: TikTok, Snapchat, Threads, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. And please subscribe and like me on YouTube, and so you can get the notifications. So just in case you're not on any of your social media platforms, you can still get my every every Friday at 12 noon notification about my podcast. And so here's the summary. When should I sell or buy real estate? Like I mentioned, right now, no matter what time, it's always a great time. But to summarize it, the best time to buy will be during the fall and winter months between September and March. And the best time to sell will be actually between March and September. There are very reasons for these timing, but life happens to us all. So things might have you to move sooner. Things may have you to sell at any time. But as long as you have the right plan in place, you can still achieve your real estate goals. If you need help with that, please reach out to me. Check out my website, damontheagent.com. You can always call me also at 202 618 1382. I will be gladly to help you, assist you in that. And I just mentioned about mindset. Look here, having the wrong mindset will cost you one way or another. It will cost you something. But having the right mindset will add on to your life. It will add value to your life. Please evaluate your mindset to see exactly where you at. And if you feel like, oh, I don't need to change anything about me, then guess what? You already had the wrong mindset, because nobody out here is perfect and we all can improve. Hopefully, you improve by starting with the right mindset. I want to thank you all for joining me. As always, please come back next week. Next week, I'm thinking about having a little panel on here. I don't know. I'll think about it. I might surprise you all, but join me each and every Friday at 12 noon. Well, I can always give you the latest in real estate, answer the Q&As, and then we talk about something. Hey, I appreciate you all. Thank you. I pray that you'll have a great day and a great weekend. And also this Sunday, you got to fall back, y'all. Make sure you change your time. It's fall back weekend. Hey, daylight savings time. Y'all thought it was getting dark early at 6 and 5:30. Now it's about to get dark at 4:30, 4 o'clock. All right, you all have a